To discuss this is our foreign affairs correspondent, Moyo Thomas, who joins us via phone. Moyo, I know you have been following this development. Talk to us more, first of all, about the plan by the federal government to evacuate Nigerians in Sudan.
Yes, the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission issued a statement this morning saying that they would make all efforts to ensure they respond to the letter by the National Association of Students in Sudan requesting them to be evacuated. And they started the move by speaking with the Nigerian mission in Sudan and every other authority they know could help. But most importantly, there needs to be a ceasefire for Nigerians to be able to carry this out, because it is not only Nigeria that wants to evacuate at the moment. Japan and some other countries have also made efforts to evacuate, but the need for ceasefire, which the UN is really working on, is very important and critical before Nigeria can actually take this move and carry and evacuate Nigerian students there.
And we know that, Moyo, that 2 attempts at a ceasefire has failed. What more can you tell us about that conversation or the dialogue around the ceasefire in Sudan, and then just a general attempt to mediate and negotiate between both parties?
Yes, the UN waded in earlier, speaking with AU, African Union, the Kenyan government, IGAD, just like the earlier report stated, and every other effort to speak with authorities to ensure there's a ceasefire. The UN Charter already says in crises like that, the lives of civilians must be protected. Whoever is the 2 parties in crisis must make sure that civilians are not affected. So this is where this charter is what UN at the moment and AU is trying to ensure they enforce and get the ceasefire. But it becomes very critical when you look at the history of this crisis, what led to the crisis. These are 2 parties that were former allies, and then they now became enemies and fighting one another. So it makes it deeper. While one party is agreeing to a ceasefire, the first ceasefire on Tuesday that didn't last up to 15 minutes, the RSF said the army started shooting all over again while they agreed to a ceasefire. So the agreement has just been an issue because the two warring parts were friends. All of a sudden, they become enemies. So getting them to now agree and trust one another has become a very deep issue. And I know UN is on top of this. AU is also not resting. And we are hoping that this recent one that we're expecting to start by 6 p.m. today would actually, this ceasefire will actually take effect.
And how is the African Union, how optimistic are they that they would achieve that ceasefire and then there will be a smooth transition to civilian rule?
I hope. I know they can only just be optimistic at this point, because much they could do is to keep talking to both parties to ensure that they can get the ceasefire. The AU, the African Union, the UN particularly is even on top of this more than what the EU is doing. So we hope we can just keep our fingers crossed and hope that they will achieve the ceasefire so that they can attend. Beyond evacuating people from Sudan, from Khartoum at the moment, the issue of humanitarian aid, people having access to buy food, having access to medical aid is also very important. And that is one of the reasons they are also hammering on the ceasefire. If people can leave their homes, they can have access to food, it would definitely yield to more problems, more challenges. And that is why the UN is insisting on the ceasefire. The AU is working on it, and we hope that UN-AU joint effort and all the tripartite body, including IGAD, will be able to achieve this in a short time. And more particularly, Sudan to be able to return to democratic rule.
Thank you so much, Moyo. Bring us updates on that evacuation from Sudan when you have it. Our correspondent, Moyo Thomas, live for us there in Abuja.